Hey guys, Ghost Blocks here. Today, I just wanted to hop on real quick and give my opinions and thoughts on the Battlefield 6 open beta that has just ended. I played both weekends, first weekend and second weekend. So first off, I guess something that really bothered me at first, as it would bother anybody. First weekend, I would crash every hour or two. My computer would turn off, shut down completely, and reboot. And no other game I've ever had has done this. So I thought it was clearly an issue with the game. I looked into some ways to fix it, but couldn't figure out a way to prevent it. And luckily, week 2, I'm mentioning this first because I feel like it's like very important for anybody that's like clicking on this video and interested in Battlefield 6. Week 2, there's an NVIDIA drivers update on like the 12th. The second weekend started the 14th. The game never crashed again. So, amazingly, DICE actually was able to, or NVIDIA, but somebody involved in helping with this obviously was actually able to figure out an issue and fix it within the time of the beta instead of like 3 months after launch, which I grew up playing Battlefield 4, and I got the game at launch on PC back in like 2014, and every subsequent Battlefield game I've played like the betas of, and there always seems to be like technical issues that plague the game until they fix it eventually. It seems like DICE actually goes back and fixes their games. Like Battlefield 4, when it launched, only 3 maps would work at all, but nowadays it's like one of the better Battlefield games with like a bunch of content and really cool, really a lot of quality of life features, which leads me into my next point. So they actually seem like they fixed the game by the second weekend, which is great. Overall, this Battlefield game, I played every class. Again, I'm most familiar with like Battlefield 4. I played a little bit of Battlefield 3, played a little bit of Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, but mostly Battlefield 4. And there's like some glaring features that either somehow I couldn't find or look up and search that don't seem like they exist, that existed in like all the other Battlefield games I just mentioned. And one of the big ones that I don't understand how a beta can possibly release without for people to play test the game, because it is I think borderline a requirement for a first person shooter to have, or if not have something like a system in place for this, which is when you aim down sights, there is no sensitivity option to change what your normal sensitivity is versus your aim down sight sensitivity. Now this is a quality of life feature. I think a lot of games probably don't have this, maybe, or at least didn't way back in like the Xbox 360 era. But what they do have is when you zoom in, when you're aim down sights with a weapon, usually your sensitivity slows down a lot. And the purpose for this is because when you're aiming, you're usually trying to be more precise, so it lowers your sensitivity, so you're able to do that. And it's like a toggle between lower sensitivity aiming versus not aiming, being able to whip around, turn around completely quickly. Luckily, that didn't really. I kind of had to like learn how to use a new button on my mouse, because my mouse happens to have a button to where I can change my DPI on the fly. So I kind of was able to hardware my way out of this situation with an extra mouse button. I kind of had to taught myself to use it, but I was using it fine. It didn't really affect my experience by the end of it, but it certainly was annoying to learn, could affect other players. And it's like we've had this since like Battlefield 4. I think they added it in an update, but still, it's like we've had this since Battlefield 4. Why in their new Battlefield game are they not like putting in quality of life features that are so fundamental to a first person shooter, like ADS sensitivity being different than your normal sensitivity? I think when the weapons zoomed, like if you're 2 times zoom, I think like because you're zoomed in, effectively your sensitivity becomes less. But it's not the same, and it's not a replacement. And like in this footage right now, I'm using one-time zoom, so I'm having to use my button completely. When I'm sniping, I don't tend to use the button unless I'm like really trying to line up a shot. Because when you're like 10 times zoomed, it's not as big of a deal, or 5 times zoomed, it's not as big of a deal. So those are some core things that I took away from the Battlefield 6 beta, is that DICE released a game that was crashing a bunch. A lot of reviewers were saying that it worked fine. I played it was crashing for me. And it appears, I don't know if it was, obviously it was a driver's issue because the driver's update fixed it, but somebody from somewhere was actually able to find the issue, fix it before the second week, which is great. And then like there's certain decisions like the ADS sensitivity. There might be more stuff I can't think of or notice. This is just supposed to be a quick video, so I can't think of anything else that was like glaringly an issue. But that kind of allows me to talk about the good parts of the game. A lot of the parts of this game is good compared to like Battlefield 4. Like reviving how the defibrillators work, I think is interesting, because Battlefield 4 you had to charge jump a lot, you couldn't run with them, and then when you let go you had like a huge range. This kind of feels more realistic. You can run them with them, but you have to be like right on top of somebody. So it's like they nerfed it in certain ways but buffed it in other ways. But that actually, now that I think about it, there is a discussion on class dynamics. So support now, if you're familiar with other Battlefield games, support usually is the one that has ammos and light machine gun. All these things are still true, but they gave the support class the med kit as well. So your ammo kit is also a med kit. Why they did this, I'm not sure. I think it's a little bit overpowered. I think LMGs in Battlefield specifically are really good. I'm using it in this clip, this gameplay that we're watching. But I had a friend when I was in like when I played Battlefield 4 that would use LMGs, and he just like station down, get a bunch of kills. You have 100 bullets in a mag. The player count is higher, so it's more important. Versus a game like Call of Duty, you have 100 rounds in your mag. Yeah, but maximum of every single person on the team runs through a corner. That's 6 kills. That's like you get your value out of it. Most of the time, that's not happening. You get 1 or 2 people, maybe, that run around a corner, and then usually you're able to reload. And even if there's 3 people, if in a game like Call of Duty, you're able to, like, if you're accurate enough, you can actually take 3 people out with 1 magazine, which is like more than half of their team, right? Battlefield, sometimes like 6, 7, 8, 9 people running around the corner, and you're able to mow them all down. So I think they already have one of the better weapon classes in the game. Now they have ammo, and they have health pack, and they have defibs. So they gave them health pack and defibs, the support class, which old Battlefield players might be thinking, what happened to the assault class? What do they have? Well, they have like some stem shot, which I actually still don't know what it does. And I played the beta for a while, and I tried to look for the tooltips, and they said something about like locating nearby players, but I never noticed anything. So maybe I'm delusional. Maybe it wasn't working. Who knows? I'm not even sure. But the only real benefit is you get 2 primary weapons as assault, which only is good because the shotguns are kind of overpowered in this game. So I was using assault a lot, especially near the end of this beta, and I was mowing people down, playing really obnoxiously, like peeking a corner, shooting. If I hit them, they die. If I miss, I retreat behind the corner, try again next time, and they don't have enough time to get enough shots into me to kill me. So they're kind of balanced right now because they have access to shotgun as well as like their normal AR, and the shotgun is so powerful that it's almost worth it. But I think they're trying to give the assault class, DICE has already said it, I think, that they're going to give the assault class the spawn beacon, which I'm not 100% sure if they're taking away from recon, but I just think I don't know what they're doing. I think the class balance is kind of weird because now support's like, I think, overpowered. Recon is still just like sniper class, so if it's a sniper map, like that snow map in the beta, then it's okay. Recon's cool, it's good, but otherwise, like, recon only has snipers, so if you want to sniper, use them. If you don't, you don't. And you get the spawn beacon, which is really powerful. But if they don't have that, man, I don't know what they're gonna do. That they want to be in their awkward spot to snipe, so if they can't put down their spawn beacon, I feel like that jeopardizes their game plan. You know, engineer has their role for the vehicles and repairing and stuff. Support is just like OP infantry, and assault is like slightly different. OP infantry in a different way, because instead of having an LMG where you can like mount yourself in a spot and like be uncontestable, you're able to run in and be uncontestable with the shotgun. But the thing is, any class can use a shotgun. It just, you're kind of, if you have to do something long range, assault has the flexibility of having both, right? But I don't know. I just think that the class balance dynamic is weird, and the way they're trying to fix it doesn't sound like it's going to fix the issue. I don't know what was wrong with having assault have medkit, and then support have ammo, so everyone kind of has a purpose. Support just feels a little too strong now. Like, one support can just does everything for the team basically. And then assault's only, I mean, like I've had multiple firefights as assault where I'm like behind a corner. I know I would have been good as support, but since I don't have a med pack with me, I get chipped by like random explosive damage and I die. Where support would have been able to survive it because he would have been healing in between. So, you know, I don't know. Class balance kind of weird, but the fundamentally though, I really enjoyed the beta. Like the gameplay feels good. It feels like Battlefield. You know, I don't know. The hit detection seems good, pretty good compared to like what I've had to deal with in the past. Connection was pretty good. I didn't notice any major lagging issues. There are some weird things like when you spawn in, it's like everything's running at every like character model, including like your visual is running at 15 FPS, even though the game is clearly running like full frame rate, but like it's all jittery. I don't know. I think that's like a thing of the Frostbite engine that is kind of like they're gonna have to like completely overhaul the engine to get rid of, because I feel like the game was kind of similar to that in Battlefield 4. There are some weird physics things where if you like run onto a very slight slant or incline at a weird angle, sometimes you get flung upwards, which can that could get you killed if it happens in like a bad spot. So there's some like weird things, but overall I think it's a good Battlefield game. I will not be getting it because I can't afford the $70. I'm not gonna have time to play it. So I enjoyed the beta for what it was. But I definitely think that compared to all the other Battlefield launches, I do have to say it seems like it's gonna be good. I mean, or at least it's actually gonna be playable, which for Battlefield is actually a big W. But yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about the beta. I enjoyed my experience. I won't be getting it, but I don't necessarily. It is $70, which is a little steep. Hopefully, it comes out in like 2 to 3 years for free, just like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, Battlefield 3. Because I got all my unlocks unlocked, but yeah, I'm not gonna be buying this game. Some people were talking about the map size being too small. I don't know. I think the map size was good. I rather the maps be too small than too big, because if they're too big, you're running around doing nothing. If it's too small, then it's like you just have to be more sharp with like all movement and aiming and stuff, and maybe you have less time to reload and do certain things. But I don't think they're that small. So I think the map size is actually pretty good in my opinion. And I'm sure they're gonna have some bigger, more vehicle focused maps. But yeah, if you guys having it like things that you want to talk about the Battlefield 6 beta, go ahead, comment it down below. But as for me, that was kind of my general opinion. You know, it was very disappointing at first because it would crash every hour or two, but they fixed it, and then actually being able to play the game, it was actually kind of enjoyable. I really liked it. So until next time, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.